All right, thank you so much for agreeing to sit down and chat with us. We are
Absolutely.
thrilled to gain more insight into all the careers out there, but a lot to do with the online field. So we'll jump right in. This is specifically dealing with current roles and job details, etc. So what is your current role and what are some of the job details?
So my current role is Vice President of Business Development for Aramis Interactive. We are a digital publishing company. We work with companies who are looking to reach our audience of consumers online. And how we do that is we develop websites that are more lifestyle brand focused. So recipes, coupons, free samples, parenting. We're in the development of a health site right now. So we're really reaching a demographic that we see as a core part of the digital consumer base, which is women.
So what is your current role? Like what?
Sure. So I manage the new sales, new client advertisers sales, and our client services team. So both of those departments oversee the hundreds of clients that we work with to generate new customers, new consumers for. So companies like Procter and Gamble and Uber and Kellogg's are some of the brands that we work with to reach our audience of consumers.
The last two jobs that helped you gain this position, where did you come from?
Sure. So I actually didn't think I was going to be doing this. I actually started out in the political realm and then ended up deciding I wanted to go into the private sector. And I started out actually at a company called Quinn Street, where I learned the ropes on digital media and performance-based marketing. And from there, ended up, I was there for about a year and then ended up going to a company called Trankos, which is another digital publishing company. And I was there for about 10 years in different roles on both the media buying and the sales and business development side.
What would you say 2 to 4 skills are that you use but that you could not have learned in college?
Good question. I would say the first one and probably the most important skill that I've been able to just develop that you can't learn in school is really relationship building, and really having a good emotional intelligence. Being able to relate to people, get an understanding of what someone's needs are, so that you can, better relate to them. I think one of the key concepts that I've learned over the years in my career, specifically in sales and business development, is that people love to buy, but they hate being sold. So if they feel like you're actually caring about what their needs are, they're more likely to work with you, and that's definitely not something that you really learn in a classroom. It really is either something that comes naturally or something that you kind of gravitate towards.
And personality strengths for the position, and then who would this job absolutely not be for?
Personality traits. I think I think in part I am looking, like, I look for people who are organized, but I'm looking for people who have an entrepreneurial spirit, who want to learn but also want to grow within their career. People who are driven to succeed, who don't take no for an answer. People who are really want to develop relationships with people, people that have a good emotional intelligence, but also someone who's self-aware about what their skill set is. The people I'm absolutely not looking for are introverts. think someone who considers himself a wallflower or an introvert or has difficulty relating to people wouldn't do well in this role, because we're constantly you know, talking to new people all the time. And I would say, if you can't take rejection, it's not the role for you. My team's constantly being told no every day, and sometimes we have fun contests of who gets the best rejection during the day. It's definitely something where someone's gonna be able to push on through rejection and to really find the right person to work with.
Educational skills required.
A lot of what we do is we're a technology-based company, so there is some sort of like skill set, computer skill set that's required.
Software knowledge.
Yeah, some minor software knowledge, being able to go online, use the internet effectively. We're always prospecting for new business, so figuring out how to find the right people to work with. I think one thing that school does teach people is the ability to organize. From that standpoint, organizing your day, I think is a big part of what we do here. And if you have clients that need to call, you have emails that need to get sent, you have proposals that are constantly going out. So from that aspect, it's how do I best organize for success? A lot of it is, we work as a team, but a lot of it is individually driven. So I would say that those are skill sets that are learned in school.
And then was there certain specific coursework in college that helped you for this position, or do you think that this was a position that you gained from your work experience?
I think a lot of what I've learned doing this job was gained from work experience. From a coursework perspective, a lot of what we do is communications, being able to communicate. But a lot of what we do is also it's relational. If you're a government or a political science major or something along those lines, where it's very much relationship driven, it's very like you're constantly negotiating different things. You're reading contracts and trying to come up with the best deal possible. So from that standpoint, I would say that those are kind of the coursework areas that would best define something in this role, but not necessarily 100% required.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How do you see your industry and role changing in the upcoming years, and how would you advise students to adapt to these changes?
Yeah, so I think we've really adapted in how we look at this industry. We used to look at it as a part of what was called digital advertising, and now that's really shifted more into advertising in a digital world. And so things are constantly changing. We're constantly trying to adapt and figure out different ways to reach consumers. I think smartphone technology and email marketing technology has drastically changed from when I first started almost 15 years ago doing this. But what's really interesting is that the more things have changed, the more they've really stayed the same and kind of gone full circle to things that had worked 10 years ago, still working, but in a different way. There's more of a focus on the online medium for things like jobs. Uber's a big client of ours, and we work with them to find drivers for their service. So we're getting in touch with consumers who are interested in that, but there's a long process that we're taking to get those drivers. So it's not instant, and there's more of a long tail strategy involved in how we do that. So it's definitely something that we're constantly looking at and adapting to.
Would you hire someone without a college degree?
Absolutely. I think that if someone has the right skill set, if someone is driven, if someone is hungry, if someone has a strong emotional intelligence and can relate to people, that's the type of person that I want to hire, whether they have a degree or not.
And then the last question, if you were to give any advice to an 11th grade high school student on the fence about going to college, what would it be?
I think the one, like if I were able to create one thing, or develop a course or class for a junior in high school, it would be self-awareness. I think that a lot of students are being told they have to go to college because it's what's going to advance their career. But I know some really smart people who were junior college dropouts who have been very successful in what in their given field. And I think that we're also kind of in this this thought that everyone has to go, but I mean the reality is that it's not for everyone, and everyone is constantly trying to be number one, but there is a lot of money to be made and a lot of success to be had in being a 2, 3, 4, or 5. So really be self-aware of what your skill set is, and if you are looking at college coursework and aren't really finding that what they're teaching in school is what you want to do, then maybe think about doing something else.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Thank you. That actually wraps up all our questions, and I'm hoping that it will help some students out there answer some of their unanswerable questions in regards to what's available. And thank you again.
Thanks for having me.